Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
Must-win game for both sides, and the Delhi Capitals, after being put into bat at their home ground, the highest scoring ground in the league, have once again posted over 200, courtesy Tristan Stubbs, once again with the bat towards the end. Started well, Lucknow came back in the middle, so we find out who would be happier at half-time on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by JBL. In the company of Wasim, Jaffer, Mitchell McClenaghan, Tom Moody. Tom came closest with his first innings prediction of 2-1-1. They fall just short. Would Delhi be happy with that? Happy enough?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll be reasonably happy with that, particularly that middle phase where they were choked by some excellent bowling from Ravi Bishnoi. And at that point, it was looking around that sort of 180 mark, which probably wasn't going to be enough. But again, Tristan Stubbs just put, the icing and the cherry on the cake. The way he's finishing games, it's like he's been doing it for 10 years. He's composed, and his shot selection is absolutely bang on. And he's not trying to overhit the ball, but he still hits it, for miles. So he's been a real find for Delhi Capitals.
He has really upped his range of shots this season as well. Even if he starts slowly, which he has in a few games, it's not like Stubbs gets stuck. He finds new ways or new areas to get boundaries.
Yeah, he's shown good tempo when he's coming early, hasn't he? He's got himself in, he's got himself set, and all around the ground. I think the only thing we haven't seen is an uppercut over point. His ability just to manipulate the field. He hits some unique areas. He hits like a really wide, long on at pace, particularly on a short ground. It's quite hard to defend, particularly when you know that he does reverse lap and lap. You can't really drag one of those fielders into that pocket. So he's got a great array of shots, and he looks very, very difficult to bowl to.
Yeah, I didn't know till this season actually that he can play the reverse lap, or he can play spin as well as he played in the game against Rajasthan. Wasim, we talk about Klassen, but is Stubbs actually the closest to a 360-degree player as a finisher?
He is, yeah. He's very difficult to bowl because he plays all those areas, and he makes it difficult for the bowlers because if you're bowling consistently in that wide line, he can play that over third man, which he did, and then he can lap short as well, and then he can obviously hit in front. So, yeah, we talk about Klassen, but Tristan Stubbs has done it more than Klassen, especially this season. How he has finished the game and how he has taken DC to being competitive team.
Yeah. What does it tell you about a player whose IPL impact was not the same last year, and he's still a young player, but he comes in this year, and we've seen such a big difference? What do you think happened in the middle?
I think it's opportunity. I think he didn't get a regular opportunity, and he was quite young when he was in the Mumbai squad. So therefore, he was an evolving player. He was still sort of finding his way. I think where he really took off was in the SA-T20, where he had a good season there in the championship winning side, and I think he was very much part of the reason they were championship winning side, the Sunrisers team down in South Africa. So I think he's gained confidence, he's getting more opportunity, and with opportunity he's repaying that faith.
Yep, the only player I'm told with 200 plus runs this season at the death. So excellent from Tristan Stubbs. Talk about retentions, talk about Jake Fraser-McGurk. Didn't have his day today, but Stubbs has to be really high up there. Yes?
Without a doubt.
Retention number one from the overseas for Delhi, you think?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you look at retention, whether it's overseas or Indian players, and you look at the supply and demand, and there's not too many players in world cricket that can finish like that. So it makes him exclusive. So therefore, he's a must-keep.
Okay, there you have it. Let's talk about how they started. And they started well. Not for Jake Fraser-McGurk, unfortunately. Tom Moody's little curse coming to fruition for you, poor Jake. But Porrell, player that we've not spoken much of, he's had different roles to play, but Porrell has also been someone who's taken the most of his chances. Good today again?
Yeah, he's been a positive story for Delhi for sure. Remember, he started as an impact sub, batted at number 8 or 9, I remember, and then he played well there as well. So goes on to show his versatility, that he can adjust. And it's not easy, opening the batting, even though we say it's the spot that you always want to bat. But somebody who's not done that come in and get consistent scores, and he was very impressive today.
He's kept Prithvi Shaw effectively out of the team, and I think that'll be their plans now going forward.
Definitely, definitely.
Does it look like he's almost hitting the ball harder? With some of the shots he played.
I think he's got more confident.
Yeah.
I think at the start he looked a little bit nervous. Didn't back, obviously barring that first innings we saw, when he got the opportunity at the top of the order, particularly on Mumbai and those games after, he just didn't look as confident to play the shots that he's playing now, and I think he's got a couple of good innings under his belt, and once he's done that, tonight was probably his best performance in terms of like shot making. He dominated the bowling, he played all around the ground. I thought he was very, very impressive.
Because of Paudel, they got 73 in the power play, Delhi. Then came a period where not a lot of wickets fell, but there was a slowdown, Tom. Bishnoi getting a wicket and 1 for 26. There was a 7-over period where they've got 48. New sense Lucknow brought it back. What happened in that period?
Well, I think obviously Bishnoi bowled his allotment of his overs, so 24 balls at one end, and I thought Mohsin Khan bowled particularly well too. I think he read the conditions well. His off-pace delivery into the surface was just holding, and that's what made me think that maybe this is a 180 track. But Stubbs certainly, flipped that idea. Yeah. But I think they just bowled particularly well to the conditions then. But at the back end of the innings, it was nearly they were too predictable.
Yep.
They weren't, they weren't as unpredictable as they needed to be. We didn't see any sort of leg stump Yorkers. It seemed to be very predictable, off pace into the surface. And when you're set like Stubbs, he can just, because he's a big man, he can just stand there and he's got the power to just club the ball where he chooses.
Mohsin Khan, for you, the only one who actually bowled one of those Yorkers, I think.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I think the difference as well on that surface, it looked like it's a little bit darker than the surfaces that we've seen. And Mohsin Khan, when he bowls a slower ball, it's really hard into the wicket because he's got that up and then down action. So he gets very high and can really dig it in. And it kind of stops in the wicket a little bit more. So it looks like a wicket where your slower balls have got to be very hard into the wicket to get that purchase out of it, which I think Naveen towards the end and a couple of the others were just a little bit more along it, and there wasn't that bounce that Mohsin was getting. Yeah. So the surface was great for him, the style of bowling, and I thought he was class tonight. And yeah, they were looking at one point that they were going to go well into the 200s. So that combination between Bishnoi and Mohsin Khan was exceptional.
Could KL have used Mohsin Khan any differently to keep Stubbs down?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised to see Yudhvir bowl the 20th over. Somebody who's not played at all. He's somebody who bowls with the new ball, which he did. But Mohsin should have been kept in the death, knowing that Stubbs, how he's going. And as well, Arshad was expensive today. But I thought you could have held Mohsin for 1 over. Probably with Naveen, you needed that experience. So that's something which I felt KL got it wrong.
But the other thing, though, it's hard to be critical of the captaincy purely down to the catching. If Stubbs was caught, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation, and that's where your fielding plays such an important role for not only the team's outcome, but for a bowler's outcome, because, they've, may have set him up nicely with a series of deliveries of change of pace or whatever it might be. The opportunity comes and it's dropped.
Mm-hmm. Right. You are not a very animated man, but yet I saw you animated when a wide call was ruled in favour of the on-field decision in the last over.
Oh, I almost shouldn't be surprised at this point of some of the decisions that are getting made in the third umpire's box. I think there's probably should be a move at the end of this tournament to make sure that you do have almost the best umpire.
Best TV umpires.
Best TV umpires. And I know a few other leagues are starting to do it around the world, but it's becoming such a critical position. I mean, if Delhi lose this by 1 run, which, these are fine margins at this point of the season, it was an absurd decision. The ball had gone well over Akshar's head, and he said he wanted to see him at full extension after the ball had gone past to get a reference point. By the time the ball had gone past him, he was off his feet. He was actually in the air. There was still might have been the smallest amount of contact with the ground, but he's not 6'8".
Let's extend this to beyond just this incident and this umpire for what it's worth. I think the biggest challenge has come when the TV umpire has to make his interpretation for wide calls. They could either be due to the bouncer height or at times a batter moving. It seems like that remains the area that has most people dissatisfied, whether on account of the time taken or the eventual decision or both. Is there an easy fix?
It's exactly the same thing as they do with the full pitch delivery. They measure everyone at the crease, with the full pitch with the waist.
Yep.
They can do exactly the same for the bouncer, but do it at head height.
Yep.
And you've got it solved straight away.
Don't mind that. Yep.
So it's a simple solution. They're already doing it for one part of the game. Just do it for both sides of the game. If you stand at 6'1", that's where your line is. That's not moving. And the other thing just around this third umpire is, and I totally agree with Mitch, in that now it's become even more important because so many things are going up to the third umpire, where before, historically, the third umpire was really a position of privilege.
Yeah.
You sit there with your tea and you've got your biscuits and you rarely get called upon. But now you're in the hot seat because so many decisions are going up to you. So I agree. I think it's got to be the best TV umpire, and that's not necessarily the best on-field umpire either, that can not only articulate the process very clearly for the viewers, but also for the on-field umpire to understand what decisions have been made and why, and make the right decision.
Yeah, that'll take care of the height issue. There'll still be the issue of batters moving and whatnot. But anything you'd like to add or see from the umpiring?
I think I completely agree. I mean, if you're taking the waistline, you might as well take the headline and just make that call based on that.
Yep, fair enough. Food for thought.
Just with the wide line, you can easily solve that too, because at point of ball release, you can get a measurement of the distance the batter has moved outside off stump and just add that on to the guideline of the wide line. So if it's 4 inches, well, that 4 inches, then bang on there, a line's there, you're done.
Yep, measure stump to toe and then just add it on.
I love it. It's such a simple game. Imagine explaining that next year to the new fan as to how we've done this. Anyway, and there'll still be those, including those from your club, the former players' club, that'll be absolutely disgusted with some of the decision making, even when.
Apologies to those then.
Apologies on behalf of every former cricketer
in advance
who doesn't know the rules. All right. On that note, let's follow the chase now. Lucknow need to win. They need to win as quickly as they possibly can. But when you've got a score of 209 now, is it tricky suddenly? Do you now start thinking, let's get the points, let's not worry about net run rate? Tom?
I don't think their approach changes, because I think they would have come into this game knowing that they need to take the power play on. They need to play a lot more aggressive brand of cricket. So that's not changed. Whether you're chasing 175 or 212 to win the game, your mindset's exactly the same as when they turned up on the bus to this stadium. So I think they'll take on the power play, recognising that's probably the best time to score, and set the game up from there.
Are you sticking with your wish to see perhaps Nicholas Pooran come up early, given the equation now?
I think so. Yep, absolutely. I think you still need to make a dent into the net run rate differential, and I think that's probably a good play.
Would you go 1, 2, 3, 4, Stoinis 3 Pooran 4? Because we've seen Krunal come up, we've seen Badoni come up, we've seen a lot of experiments there. Deepak Huda as well. So what's your 1, 2, 3, 4 today? I mean, Rahul and De Kock are out there. So
I'm
who's 3
sticking
and
with
who's 4?
Stoinis for 3.
Stoinis at 3.
Yeah, I'm the same. Stoinis 3, Pooran 4.
Very well. We have landed an outrageous pick in the first innings with Jake Fraser-McGurk getting out for less than 10 balls. Well done, Tom. And you came close with the score. Let's get a prediction for this innings as well, and an outrageous pick, please. Tom Moody.
My outrageous pick is Nicholas Pooran, given he's in my little selection of names, is going to hit 4 or more sixes. And...
Yes, that's fine.
Nah.
And
Why?
How many did Stubbs hit?
4.
I think...
And Pooran's better than Stubbs at 6 hitting.
I'll accept 4.
And
In his first 10 balls.
sorry, I'm speaking at the moment. And Lucknow Super Giants is going to win.
LSG to
If
win.
that's okay by you, is that okay? Or maybe I should change that as well.
it's not.
Sorry.
No,
LSG to win. Last over, perhaps.
Yes.
Close game.
I think it's going to be with 3 balls to spare.
Very well. And now, Mitch McClenaghan, you actually have your say. You can speak for yourself.
Well,
Oh,
I'm going
gosh.
to go. I'm going to go.
Ishant Sharma gets hit for 4 sixes.
No, what I'm going to go is I'm going to go KL Rahul to be hit for 2 sixes.
KL Rahul to be hit for
to hit 2 sixes because he hasn't hit many sixes, and he's not as got a six-hitter as Nicholas Pooran.
That's not
He's
outrageous.
probably half the six-hitter.
Wasim, I'll let you speak on our behalf.
I'm sorry,
He's
but
half the
it's
six-hitter
not even my
Nicholas
decision.
Pooran.
I'm already getting word from the bosses upstairs that 2 sixes will not qualify for an outrageous pick from a top-order bat.
Oh, well, he's half the six-hitter that Nicholas Pooran is. Okay.
If you would like to tell me that,
That's okay.
that Yudhvir Singh will hit 2 sixes, I'll accept.
I will say that Kuldeep will get Nicholas Pooran out,
Very well.
and Delhi will win by 3 runs.
Kuldeep to get Puran and Delhi to win by 3. Wasim?
LSG to win in the 20th over. 75 or more in the power play.
75 or more in the power play. Very good. All right, I'll take that from a team that actually does not have great power play numbers. So that is a proper outrageous pick. In which case, KL Rahul might end up hitting 4 sixes in the power play. Thank you very much to Wasim, Jaffer, Mitch McClenaghan and Tom Moody. See the stakes. They're so high over here, and yet they are meaningless. And therefore, you can think of how high the stakes are at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Let's see if Lucknow have given themselves a real chance, or if Delhi sign off from the league stage on a high. Join us for post-match analysis on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket Info Timeout, powered by JBL. Download the mobile app, fastest scores, and so much more as Ishant Sharma has been impacted in for Abhishek Porul, and we already saw LSG impact in Ayush Badoni for Mohsin Khan. Big 20 overs coming up. Pick up the chat at the end of it.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.